entitled as
toxic masculinity,
complex character,
broke every possible rule of the rule book.
Should be more responsible.
I don't remember the last time a film made this much noise.
These guys are calling this film as a violent film. I want to tell them, I'll show them what violent film will be. 1, 2, 3.
The day is finally here where everyone waited for the animal drop to happen. The infamous post-Kabir Singh interview, Vanga talking about the fact that he is going to show critics what a violent film is, the photograph leaks from the shoot of the film that made everyone curious of the dark character Ranbir Kapoor may be playing, the eerie pre-teaser that gave us an insight about the film and its relationship, the marketing of the film since a year, the delay of its release date, and the concluding statement by Sandeep Reddy Vanga. तो आइए 1 दिसंबर को रणबीर कपूर का विश्व रूप देखने. Its final trailer dropped and oh boy did it make me even more excited to see this 3 hour and 21 minute spectacle on the big screen. The last time I was so pumped for a Bollywood trailer to drop was with Pathaan this year and Brahmastra last year, just because there was so much riding on those films. Yes, the runtime has been finalized. Sandeep Reddy Vanga and his wish to keep the final edit without any compromises, something that he had to battle for with his producers during Kabir Singh and Arjun Reddy, but conceded, has finally reached fruition. Raw, violent and uncut is what we expect, and given that the film has been given an A certificate and with the glimpse that we have seen, all I can say is let the violence commence, as I am going to be eagerly waiting for the director to leave no stone unturned in showcasing the good, the bad and the ugly in its most raw form. So let's get to several aspects of the trailer, what we loved, what has us slightly skeptical, and the several theories and projections we can place as the movie's release date inches closer. The underwhelming aspects, skepticism of how they deal with the relationship. So with Sandeep Reddy Vanga's previous directorial venture, the most debated topic was how he dealt with the interpersonal relationships. And I mean, no shit. It was a romantic film, but the conflicting opinions arose from his portrayal of women and how they deal with an obviously confident, opinionated, aggressive, angry and outgoing individual. Ranbir and Animal seems to possess similar traits from a character standpoint, and seeing the argument that commences between the couple makes me curious about how Sandeep is going to explore this, because it is definitely going to ruffle some feathers. What's important to note, and this is just my thesis of what we can conclude from the marketing snippets, is that Ranbir's character meets Gitanjali when he is way younger, slightly more naive and more importantly, secluded from the family and the business. So I would assume she meets a more attentive and simple boy whose attention is solely focused on her. But as tragedy strikes and Anil Kapoor is in danger and returns from the brink of death, it is upon this return back to the family where Gitanjali identifies the obsession and toxic relationship between the father and son, played by Ranbir and Anil Kapoor respectively. This obsession in wanting to prove his worth as a worthy son constantly puts him in predicaments where his life is on the line, and this of course absolutely annoys a partner like Gitanjali. She finally is seeing the animal she never knew she fell in love with. The tug of war between Ranbir's self-worth only filling up through the validation of his father and the attentive love that seems to vanish over a period of time in the relationship causes rifts between them. The chokehold and physical conflict is of course going to create a lot of debate, and just a glimpse of Tripti Dimri makes me wonder about her role in the film. Is she just an affair that seems to blossom, in turn leading to the projection of anger in Ranbir's home life, or is her involvement something completely separate? I am wary about how Sandeep deals with the romantic relationship, but one thing is for certain, it, just like his last film, is going to open a floodgate of opinions and debates. VFX and ultimate face-off. What is undeniable in the series of action shots that we have seen in the trailer is that the visuals of Ranbir going apeshit crazy with this massive assortment of a weapon does look slightly awkward. The elements of the gun itself look digitally rendered rather than having the rustic and raw quality of the action sequences that are otherwise dispersed throughout the trailer. This was the only frame where I could feel the understated action looking slightly overboard. I am so looking forward to the face-off between Ranbir and Bobby, and though I wished for a little more of a wide frame as both of them headed towards one another in the concluding moments, but I realize I am just getting greedy at this point, so let's pack in the other aspects of the film. The good. The rage and toxicity. The opening sequence is exactly why there is a sense of unanimous respect that audiences across languages have for not only Ranbir the star, but Ranbir the actor. The absolute void within the character is so beautifully portrayed as Ranbir enacts a traumatic part of his childhood in front of the man that caused it. This violent relationship that has manifested in creating this monster with angst is going to be so interesting to explore. The blow up as Harshvardhan Rameshwar's score picks up was absolute gold. What becomes very clear is that Anil neglects his child, and one sees this constant want for validation build up as Ranbir even seeks for acknowledgement while being presentable with short hair. The immediate shift to the long hair, exactly like how his father likes, the frame before this immediately reminding me of Kabir on his bike, the ode and the editing of the trailer did the job so well in solidifying the core relationship of the film. You know, in just wanting to prove himself as a worthy son, Ranbir is going to lead the path of a bloody journey, where he comes immediately in conflict with Bablu Prithviraj and Bobby Deol's characters. But I love that the daddy issues are peak and palpable, because trust me, Indian boys are going to get it. Yes, this takes it to 0 to 1000, but they get it. Unapologetic action. The marketing of this film being a violent film really built up the excitement among viewers, and this excitement often leads to disappointment because you cook up so many ideas in your head of how this film could have transpired, but the visuals of the film really promise a violent and bloody ride, and I am so glad it gets an A certificate because you can really go no holds barred dependent on the same. What I noticed in the trailer, and this is again a clear assumption, but it seems like Ranbir and his army are going through several levels of worthy villains until they reach the ultimate boss played by Bablu Prithviraj. This is almost formatted like the Indonesian film The Raid, almost combating each group differently on various levels of the same building. And I wonder whether they're just sound cancelling headphones to soften the gunshots and not get ear damage, or are they really blasting Arjun Velli as Ranbir and his army annihilate everything in his way. Sandeep Reddy Vanga and his integration of the score in the screenplay is exemplary, so you never know what he may have cooked up. The blood and violence is at its peak and I love it. I mean, look at the introduction shot of Bobby Deol. You think people won't be losing their mind on what he can be capable of? We want worthy antagonists that will make us shiver, and the glimpse really did justice to what Bobby could be capable of. Music and score. I again say this. People are sleeping on Harshvardhan Rameshwar and the score that he has created for this film. If you thought that the eerie tone with the whistles really captured the atmosphere of the obsessive journey Ranbir will embark upon, I really fell in love with the drill beats of the trailer as Ranbir leads the pack. It sets the tone of the exhilarating sequences we will be witness to. I was really anticipating B Prak's single in the album because his range and texture of his voice really lends beautifully to emotional scenes, and his rendition of Chitta really lends a solid dramatic layer to the film, wherein you can clearly tell that Ranbir, Michael Corleone style, takes the reign of the family and the business, where every action and consequence rests on his shoulders. But the question is, at what cost? The music and score of this film throughout the screenplay is going to be so interesting to see. I am such a fan of the anger that Ranbir has channelized in this role, at least from the trailer. A troubled soul craving to be loved, wanted, and just accepted, and the lengths he is willing to go to. Revisiting his trauma by enacting it in front of the father who caused it is such a twisted scene to pull off, and the opening sequence itself makes me so curious about how this journey will shape up. Bobby Deol presumably has no lines in the film, a silent assassin, a towering figure coming at loggerheads with the new prince. It will be so exciting to see the trigger that has led to this conflict and what will be the conclusion of this blood-soaked tale. The beauty of the trailer is that while it does showcase a bloody path, I am still in the dark of some of the motivations and character traits. This film really is an important film for several reasons. Sandeep Reddy Vanga and whether he can prove himself beyond his first two blockbusters in a completely different genre. Can Ranbir get a home run post Sanju? Can he solidify his position as a pan-Indian star, especially in the Telugu market, something that was ruled only by Hrithik Roshan back in the day during the days of Dhoom and Krish? Can Bobby Deol be the menacing surprise bingo card we all craved and wished for? And the most important, can it sustain the attention and excitement of the audience for the running time of 3 hours and 21 minutes? I guess we will have to wait and watch. Can this become the highest grossing A-rated film in India? Who knows? I am pumped and will be seated on 1st December. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the Animal trailer. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.